Yes, we are joined now by Florida Congressman Scott Franklin. Welcome to you, sir. All right, you heard the anger in Secretary Duffy's voice right there. You see Mike Johnson shaking his head. He's not wrong. I mean, we are seeing the impacts that the shutdown is having. Do you see any end in sight at this point?
Unfortunately, I don't, and I'm clearly not a good odds maker because I never would have imagined we'd be in this position at this point. I really thought that the Democrats would have never allowed this to close to begin with. We've passed one deadline after another where we thought they would come to their senses, but it just seems like with every passing day they entrench even deeper and are adamant that they don't want to play ball. They don't want to do the right thing for the American taxpayers.
Yeah, I mean, workers, they're not getting paid. When you think of air traffic controllers, you think of that's a safety concern as well for millions of Americans. So Speaker Mike Johnson saying this is really just all a political game from Democrats. Let's take a listen to that.
Democrats would not have shut the government down this time if their political careers did not depend on it. And that is not some Republican talking point. That is the objective truth. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, the number 2 Democrat in the House yesterday openly admitted to that fact. Catherine Clark is the House Democrat whip. She works right under Hakeem Jeffries as the number 1 Democrat, and she was in an interview and she said to one of your colleagues sitting here on the front row, quote, "Of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but this is one of the few leverage times we have," unquote.
Sir, that is hard to hear. Again, she said families will be suffering, of course, but that is our leverage. What do you make of those comments?
Well, thank you for showing that, because you're not going to see that on a lot of the other news. Obviously, they should be ashamed of those comments, but we've seen it from her. We've seen it from Chuck Schumer, back to his saying that every day of the shutdown, it gets better and better for us. Clearly, the us he's talking about is not the average American out there who's suffering under this gamesmanship, brinksmanship they're playing. But they claim to be the party of the working people. They want to do what's right for America. That's not the case here. This is all about Chuck Schumer's reelection, and they know it. These obstacles that they've thrown up to us were not things that were brought up during the process of our negotiating this year's budget. And all we want to do is reopen the government and get back to doing the business of Congress. There's nothing for Republicans to negotiate. They keep saying you need to come to the table and negotiate with us. We gave you a clean CR. This is the exact same budget that Chuck Schumer supported back in 2023 for fiscal year 2024. We're still on a continuation of that. There's no reason why we can't have this government open right now. It's all on the Democrats.
Yeah, and yesterday the Senate Dems, they rejected paying essential federal workers. It's unbelievable. But again, the Democrats are putting illegals and themselves first. But before we move on to another topic, I want to ask you, what's the message that you have for just the everyday average American who is worried about maybe paying their next bill, saying we're going to lose our SNAP benefits, anything like that? What is your message to them?
They should be angry as hell, and rightfully so. We have so many Americans now, if you believe all the reporting, that are living literally paycheck to paycheck. We have our young military troops that are struggling. Thankfully, the president found a way to get the troops paid for the last payday. But that, the money that they're scrounging up of other accounts that hasn't been expended, that can't continue. And so, next week we're going to see all federal employees missing paychecks. It's unacceptable, it's inexcusable, and it's time for Democrats to quit playing their games and come back to the table and work with us.
Yeah, Americans, they are suffering.
In a matter of weeks, the task force is...
But let's move on to this. So President Trump, he hosted a crime roundtable on how his administration and law enforcement has been cracking down on violent criminals. Let's take a listen.
Force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting.
So, I mean, we've seen them close down the borders. We've seen those marine attacks on those alleged drug cartel boats. What does this all say about how this administration and President Trump are really trying to tackle violent crime in this country?
Well, this is an administration that wants to solve problems, and it's crime, securing the border, it's energy prices. This is a president who's capable of running about 20 or 30 different initiatives in parallel at the same time and getting results.
Yeah.
And that really has Democrats on their heels, because this is a president who in 8-9 months now in office has already delivered massively on a lot of the things that the American public overwhelmingly elected him to do.
Yeah, promises made, promises kept, for sure. Congressman Scott Franklin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.